Hello everyone. I want to tell you a story. Won't take too much of your time. 2013, about 10 years ago, sorry, I came from work and I was sitting downstairs with my kids watching TV, my partner making tea and stuff like that. Um, Everything seemed fine, normal. Friday afternoon, about 7 o'clock in the evening, my partner said she was going upstairs, which she did. And when she left the room, my kids followed her, two boys, about 4 and 7 at the time. And I stayed downstairs on my own, watching the TV, a bit of peace and quiet from the kids. As time went by, about an hour or so, I noticed the time had gone to about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening. Kids had fallen asleep because I couldn't hear the noise upstairs, and I continued to watch the TV. I had a glass of wine, which I was drinking, and I was watching the TV. And I would say about 11 o'clock, I fell asleep because of the wine. Um, I don't know how long I was sleeping for, but I woke up again at 11:55 p.m. And I know this time because I picked up the remote control and I pressed it and it said 11:55 p.m. And I thought, it's getting late now, I'm gonna go to bed. But there was something on the TV, don't ask me what it was, I can't remember, um, got my attention. And I continued to watch a program which I knew absolutely nothing about. I thought, I'm going to watch this program, then I'm going to go to bed. Then I fell asleep again. And then I woke up at 12:55 a.m. because of the same thing. I picked up the remote control, pressed it at the TV, and it said 12:55 a.m. And I thought, what am I doing downstairs on my own? 12:30 at night, I'm going to bed. Now, at this point, I got up out the chair, I put my left arm on the chair to push myself up to get up, and my left arm seemed very weak. And I was thinking, well, what's wrong with my arm? It's going like that. Anyway, I thought, okay, my left arm's not working, I'll use my right arm. So I used my right arm on the other side of the chair to push myself up. I managed to get up, but when I stood up, I noticed that my legs were shaking, like trembling, and I couldn't understand what it was. Anyway, I ignored that and decided to walk, which is about 5 meters to the door to come out of the living room. And I noticed I couldn't move my left leg. It's as if it was nailed to the ground. So I kept rubbing my leg like this, thinking I've got a trapped nerve or I've been lying on my leg for too long or something like that. Eventually I thought, well, okay, I'll try and lift it. And I lifted my left leg and it was like a ton of bricks. And I thought, what's wrong? Something's wrong. Yeah, I'm not, why is my leg like this? And at that point, I lost my balance and I fell on the floor. Really hurt because we've got laminated floor. And at that point, I thought, I've got to call my partner. But because it was so late in the night, I didn't want to shout and wake the kids up. So I eventually got myself in an upright position and I crawled through the corridor, the passage, bottom of the stairs, and we've got 13 steps. We all count the steps. Well, some people do, I do. We've got 13 steps to go up, and I looked at the top of the stairs and it seemed like forever. And luckily, I had railings on both sides of the stairs. So I grabbed onto the right railing and I pulled myself up the stairs, and I pushed my bedroom door open and I turned the light on. At that point, my partner woke up and she said, "Why have you turned the lights on?" Because you know, at night, if you turn the lights on, it hurts your eyes for a bit and stuff like that. She said, "Why have you turned the lights on?" And then she said to me, "What's wrong with your face?" And I said to her, well, I was trying to say to her, "I think there's something wrong with me, but I don't know what it is," but I couldn't say it. It was all, I couldn't get the words out. And at that point, I fell on the bed and she called the ambulance, 999, and it seemed like minutes, like they were waiting around the corner for me on that particular night. All I was concerned about was for her to change my underwear and to put a clean vest on, because for some unknown reason I knew I was going to hospital. Now, when the ambulance drivers turned up, this bit was really hard for me because it seemed very patronising, because they were asking me silly questions, in my opinion, at the time. What's your name? Where do you live? What's your children's name? What's your partner's name? And it didn't make any sense to me, because I knew the answer to all of these questions, but I couldn't understand why he was asking me them. But anyway, they took me up to the hospital and put me on one of the stretchers, and I still didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought it was trapped nerves, or getting on in age a bit. And after a while, they wheeled me through the corridor, and it was only when they were wheeling me through, when I was lying on my back, when you can see all the signs, I could see signs saying stroke unit. That's when I realised I'd had a stroke. And because I didn't know anything about strokes, it didn't really alarm me. I thought, well, they'll send me home probably the same night or tomorrow. There was no panic, nothing. When it came to my realisation what had really happened is when the doctor came round the same night, and when I realised that I couldn't move my left arm, and I was born left-handed. My legs, I couldn't feel my left leg. I was left-footed, and I couldn't speak. I knew what I wanted to say, but I couldn't say it. I started to cry. I didn't know that I had so many tears. I cried and I cried and I cried for about a year. I had some intense physiotherapy, speech and language, all that kind of stuff, which didn't make any sense to me at the time. Now, because of all of this, and I was willing to take the support that was offered to me, is why I'm here today. And the support from my family, the understanding of what a stroke is, and most importantly, accepting what had happened to me. Now, this is me 10 years later. I would never have imagined, I would be the way I am now. Yes, it is life-changing. It has changed my life. Do you know what? I'm taking a bad situation and turning it into a positive. So that's what happened to me. It's a roller coaster. It's something that will always be with me, but um, funny or not, it's made me a better person because it's made me learn to appreciate the simple things in life. Um, Appreciating people, listening more, um, having more empathy with people as well, that are in similar situations to me or have had a stroke before, because I have worked with people that have had a stroke before, but I didn't really understand what they were going through until it happened to me. Anyway, I won't go on any longer. That's my story. I've got to go now. Got to go back to work. I'll see you later. Bye.